this great space down in the Tenderloin. It's on Golden Gate at 134A Golden Gate. And it's in the area that, they're doing this big mid-market push to create kind of an arts district now. And so we found this space that has 10 offices in it, plus a really big common area. And initially we were looking at it to use for this film house residency program that we do with the Film Society. But for a number of reasons that wasn't going to work out for that space. And we had this great space, and we had been talking to the landlord for so long, and he was willing to work with us on a great deal. And so we decided to do our own collective. Because what we found from working with the film house residents was the thing that they liked most about the program that we did was that they were working with all these other filmmakers around them, that they had their own projects they were working on, but they collaborated a lot. And so that's what we're trying to do in this space, is offer affordable office space to independent filmmakers where they can share ideas and collaborate. And so the space is very nice, very clean. It was renovated last year. It is a basement level, but it does have a courtyard outside that brings in a lot of light. And it's a really nice space. And we have now, we have 4 residents, or 4 tenants moving in. We actually had 10, and then some dropped out because they lost their funding for their projects, and one dropped out because he never came to see it before he applied, and I think that it wasn't exactly what he envisioned. He envisioned like some big loft space, which it's not. But the offices rent for, anywhere from $200. Most of them are around anywhere between $200 and $300 a month. And then there's 2 larger spaces, one that's about 2,000 square feet, which is renting for $225 a month, and then one that's about 800 square feet that's renting for about $800 a month. But we are looking for more people to apply, so if you know any filmmakers that would be interested in participating in the program, it is a year-long program with month-to-month leases, just because that's the way our legal department made us do it, where we're trying to get a year commitment. And then at the end of this year, we will evaluate the program and see whether or not it's worth it for us to go forward. I hope that we do. We had some commissioners on the Film Commission that were worried that it would take too much time away from the work that we have to do in the film office to manage the shoots that are in town and also attract bigger productions. But I feel like once we get it running, up and running, it's not going to take up so much time that we won't be able to do it the following year. So anyway, we have that. Right now we have a documentary, 2 documentary filmmakers, and actually one guy is making a documentary and a feature, and then there's another feature being made. And then Scary Cow signed the lease the other day. So for those of you, I guess some of you are in here. Oh, hi. Hi. Pardon me?
There's lots of us, actually.
Oh, okay, good. Well, welcome. We're looking forward to having you all there. And we're just in the process now of getting everybody's subleases signed. It's taken a little bit longer than we thought. It's amazing how long things take to get done in the city. And that's been one of the most eye-opening things about this job, working with city government, is all the paperwork and the checks and balances and the legal department and everything to get our leases done really took quite a while. But anyway, for the filmmakers, projects that are being considered are projects being primarily filmed and produced in San Francisco. And if you're a resident of San Francisco, that also helps. Graduates of the Film House residency program. But basically what we're looking for are, we are hoping to have productions in there that are actually going to shoot in San Francisco, because again, part of our mission is to bring more filming to the city and to get locals hired. So we're trying to make both work to be able to help local filmmakers, but also help the greater economy and the greater filmmaking world. What else did I want to talk to you about? So up and coming, we have, in the next couple of months, we have a very high-profile reality TV show that is talking about coming to us, which normally I wouldn't be excited about reality TV show, but I think it'll show San Francisco in a really good light, so I think it's helpful, again, for tourism and just, showing off the city. And then one thing that's kind of neat, I recently purchased for our office this thing called Studio System, which you can track productions on it and see what's in pre-production, what's been greenlit, and things like that. And so I've done a number of searches on that and found films that I think they either have San Francisco in their description or it says urban setting. So I sent letters to all these productions that I found in that. And 3 days after I sent these letters out, I got a call from one of the companies, and they're like, wow, I can't believe you sent a letter instead of an email. That was kind of nice. That was fun. But he said, we were thinking of shooting this in LA, but again, we didn't know about your rebate program, and this could be shot in San Francisco, and we'll be calling you in the next month or two to try to figure out whether or not we can really do this there. So we could be getting, it's a low budget feature, but still, it's another feature. And then again, I told you about the producers that have been conversing with us about the productions that they're interested in bringing here. And then next week, I believe, we're getting a Bengali feature film, and it's the first time any company from Bengal has filmed outside or has filmed in the United States. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out, if they, if it goes smoothly, or if it's also new to them that it's a disaster, but we'll work with them however we can. And I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about was the film that we sponsored for the film festival. So every year the Film Commission sponsors a film with the San Francisco International Film Festival. And this year we were really fortunate. We were given the film Crime After Crime, which is by Yoav Potash, and he's a local filmmaker. And the interesting thing is that he was one of our Filmhouse residents a couple of years ago with the program that we do with the Film Society. And when I was at Sundance in January, his film aired there. And he actually won the Audience Choice Award at the Sundance. Oh no, he won the Sundance Film Festival Official Selection Award. And then it was going to be at the film festival here, and so we got to sponsor it. And I have to tell you, you all have to go see it. It opens in the Bay Area on August 5th at the Roxy, at the Raffel, and at the Berkeley Elmwood. And it really is one of the best documentaries I think I've ever seen. I've seen it twice. I've cried twice. I have given money to the cause that he's supporting twice. And I keep sending it to people on my Facebook because I just think it's really an amazing film. It's about the efforts to free this woman, Deborah Piegler, who was given a life sentence for murder. She had been a domestic violence victim, and she was told she could either get the death penalty or take a life sentence. And it was all of this underhanded stuff that happens that you'll learn about if you see the film. But it's really inspiring, and she's an amazing woman, and I just can't say enough about it. I don't want to tell you too much about it because it would ruin it for you. But we were really thrilled to sponsor that. And since then, he won the Audience Choice Award for the film festival and the Golden Gate Award for Best Investigative Documentary at the film festival. And just recently, the LA Times said it's a must-see film. So based on that, you should all go see it. So I think that's my spiel. And I'm happy to take questions. Crime After Crime. Mm-hmm. And it is August 5th at the Roxy.
Here's a question.
Yeah, Suzanne, that's terrific.
good on you, as they say in Australia. So I have two questions. One is I have experience with working with the city when Gavin Newsom was mayor in a big push to bring the biotech industry here. And my experience was that we did a lot of work and nothing ever happened, but there are a couple of good people in city government. So it's not a complaint, it's a question. Is the city today really behind what you're doing? What you're doing is phenomenal. But it's not meant to be a rude question. Is the city itself behind you? That is the city government, people like Todd Rufo in economic development?
I think, you know, with, well, in my response to that, I've been meeting with various supervisors from the Board of Supervisors and telling them about all the programs and the support that I need from them. And I've only met with about half of them so far. It's very hard to get appointments with them. But each one I've met with has been telling me, you have my support, whatever you need, I'll help you. And then Mayor Lee is amazing. I absolutely love him. He is so approachable. And he, I had a meeting with him about something that he wanted to talk about. And after the end of our meeting, he said, so what can I do to help you? What do you need? And you know, I told him, one of the things I'm working on right now is trying to find another stage space for productions, because we have space at Treasure Island, but it's not always available. We have this space at Pier 80 that the Hemingway production used, but that space with the America's Cup, I'm not sure whether or not it's going to stay available to us. So I've been looking for other warehouse spaces within San Francisco. And I found a space at Hunters Point that I'm very interested in. But getting it is like this whole, you know, bureaucratic mess. And so I told him I needed help with that. And the next day I got a phone call from his assistant saying, this is who you call. We'll set up a meeting for you. So yeah, I think they're really behind our efforts.
That's great. I said is there anything you don't have here that would make you more competitive? You laid out a great list of what you have, and other than cheap labor, or you know,
yeah, well, cheap labor would be
and rainy locations, is there something that you really wish you had here, a program or a facility that would really make you super competitive, as opposed to the good stuff that you're doing? Great stuff.
Thank you. I think you know, if on my wish list, I wish we had a great soundstage in San Francisco that was, you know, totally soundproof. But I don't know how we could really get someone to invest in that. I mean, I've been talking about it with this one supervisor, but I think I'm not sure how realistic it is. I don't know how profitable it would be. And then, you know, our labor is very expensive. But the nice thing is also, I mean, nice, I don't know if that's the right word. I've been talking with FX Crowley, who's the head of the Local 16, and saying, you know, when I was down in LA, everyone says one of the reasons why they don't like shooting here is it's so expensive and labor's so expensive. We want to bring production to the city because it brings money into the city coffers and all of that. So, you know, we did do one joint mailing with the surrounding cities that has each of our film commission information on it and pictures on it, just to say, look, this is what you can get when you come to the Bay Area. But honestly, my efforts are mainly about bringing films to the city. So.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Tammy Ojo. I'm a writer, director, producer. But a follow-up to Karen's question, actually. I understand from what you've just said that your attention is really to bring films to San Francisco, the city. But I wonder, do you feel differently, as if, aside from your job, that perhaps there could be some advantages to forming this coalition with the other counties that will benefit the city? Because frankly, I can't imagine, well, my imagination is limited, but I can almost not imagine a situation where a big production would want to come to the Bay Area and have access to the city and not take it. You know, so I'm thinking, well, that could bring productions to the city by offering things that will bring other productions to other counties. Just, do you feel that could be the case?
Well, you know, I guess it's something that I probably need to look into about doing something like that. And this is just from information I've gotten since I started the job, because I haven't really looked into that enough. But I think in the past, when they talked about doing that, that the expectation was that San Francisco was going to put up the chunk of the money for doing these promotional things. And because, you know, in reality, like, Berkeley doesn't really have much of a budget for this. Oakland's about to lose their film office. And Monterey and San Mateo, I mean, we work together, like we refer films to each other. Like if a film comes to town and they want like some amazing mansion or they want some huge beach, we send them to San Mateo all the time, to Brenna Bailey, and say, Brenna can help you get anything in San Mateo County. But as far as doing a concentrated outreach saying to productions, come to the Bay Area, we haven't done that. It's something I'll look into, but I don't know, my list is so long. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Yep.
Hi there. My name's Brian, and I'm a local indie, I guess, at this point, short filmmaker. And I'm wondering if any of the things that you're working on can be brought into our lives as local filmmakers. I mean, you're talking about $3 million budgets with, you know, what are you talking about? You're catering to a lot of larger film groups and companies. I'm wondering if anything can help the local filmmakers, that sort of those of us that want to be the future Spielbergs and Coppolas and all that kind of stuff, get to that point. And one thing I've kind of noticed over the years is things like location permits, maybe like a special fund for indie filmmakers where we can, say, get grants for insurance, or a pool where we can, say, buy like a year's worth, or tap into an insurance program that, instead of, say, just getting insurance for a day's shoot, we can get insurance for, say, like a year's worth of shooting. Or so it's just kind of an idea, something, maybe anything that can kind of help the local filmmaker out while also helping to bring the big guys in the town.
Well, you know, another thing that we're actually putting before the Board of Supervisors is to lower the permit fee for independent films that are budgets under $500,000. Because right now, it doesn't matter what size you are, you all pay the same fee for shooting per day. And so right now, the fee is $300 per day to shoot. That's the permit fee. Whether you're 10 million or you're, you know, $100,000 budget production. And so that's one piece of legislation that's going to be going before the board to see if we can lower the fee for productions that are lower budget. As far as like a pool of insurance, I got to tell you, I've just been working on insurance stuff for the independent filmmakers that are going to be in our program, and that's like a whole nother like can of worms. It's so complicated, and I have good people to refer independent filmmakers to, because I think through this process I have found some good insurance quotes, rates, but as far as the film office setting something up for that, I don't think that we would be doing that. But you know, the Film Society also has grants for independent filmmakers. I don't know if you ever do any investigating with them about what they might be able to help you with.
When I saw the once a year turnaround on that, I missed, when I discovered it, it was like a week after they'd given this year's.
I can't really hear you. I'm sorry.
I recently discovered that. But they did, as far as I could tell, it was a once a year thing they did, or you had to, and I'd missed it by like a week when I learned about it. So I think there's something there.
They have like ongoing classes about how to get grants, and they're a great resource.
Yeah,
So
I guess one thing of it, sort of something that creates a climate for the local filmmakers to practice their craft, do their craft, and turn this place by doing that into that kind of media making center, as opposed to always just bringing in the outsiders from Hollywood. So.
Another way of probably trying to do the same thing would be to actually take a group like this and band together and go and talk to somebody like Larry Walsh or one of these other insurance brokers, and then try to put together a group try to buy a producer package, as a group, rather than a one-by-one, that bulk purchasing idea. And, groups in the past, the Film Arts Foundation and now the San Francisco Film Society might have an interest at least in helping to put these groups together, plus, these kind of groups. So, there's a lot of different strategies, I think, for trying to put those things together.
Hi, I'm Joseph Jones. I first just want to thank you for your hard work and dedication on bringing work here to the Bay Area in the film industry.
Thanks.
I'm a local actor from Indianapolis, now living in the Bay Area. Just had a quick question. Are there any websites you can recommend for actors who are looking to get work in the Bay Area, to work with some of the local film producers?
Not that I know of, to be honest. When we get productions in town, we usually we ask them to give us a web address so that they can, we can give out an email address for actors to send resumes to, as well as production people to send resumes to. But we don't really post that stuff on our website. It's kind of like, if you call me, I'll tell you who to call, because a lot of productions don't want all of that information out there yet. But I would also, register with Nancy Hayes Casting and Bo Bonneau, and I think there's one other casting agency, but those are the two that mainly do the casting in the Bay Area. So if you're not already working with them, I would suggest getting your headshot to them.
Robin Eichman used to have a recording. Do you remember that? The hotline you could call and just get a recording, and she would just read the phone number and the address of whatever production. Did that go away, or?
It must have. Yeah. We don't have it now. Okay. Yeah, that's something to think
Here's
about,
another question.
actually. Yeah.
Just to answer his question, I recently produced a video a few months ago, and I used SF Casting, and so that's a good resource for actors who are looking for jobs.
Okay, great.
And the casting connection, too. I saw there was a question down here in front.
I was just going to say, just for experience-based acting, that the Scary Cow Group has open casting calls 3 times a year, and there's one coming up on August 12th. And that could be found on the Scary Cow website.
What's the URL?
scarycow.com.
Good to know.
Excellent. There we go.
Hi, my name is James. I used to, several years ago, lived in New York, and the mayor's office used to have a website that posted all the production companies that were shooting in New York, casting calls, I think, even job postings. Is that something you think you might want to do here?
It's just, it just seems like the feedback that we get from productions, well, I mean, we can look into doing that. The feedback that we get from productions is that they don't really want all their information out there, and they go through these agencies to either get their cast or, they have people that they know through, I guess, word of mouth that they want to hire for production. So very often they seem to want to fly under the radar and not get a lot of attention put on them. Like, I always want to talk about them when they come into town. I want to do press conferences like, oh yeah, we have Steven Soderbergh here, oh we have Rob Lowe here, and the feedback that I end up getting from the productions is, keep it on the down low, because we don't want a lot of, I guess, looky-loos coming in and interfering with production. So I'm trying to respect what they need also, so they don't think, oh, you come to San Francisco and they give away everything. And also work with the community. So, if you call our office, I usually will just say, oh, well, here's the address for that film, but right now we don't have that on our site.
Who else? Okay, one last question. Anybody? Here you go.
Oh, I just wondering if you're trying to use such resources as students working for the film production degrees or other film-related degrees, because I'm teaching in art college myself in Emeryville, Expression College, and we have new degree in digital filmmaking. And we have green room, you're talking about facility and soundproof recording studios and all these sort of things. And it also would be great experience on both sides, students and filmmakers, especially if they are on limited budget. I was wondering about having something like database or resources.
So I'm embarrassed to say I seriously have really bad hearing. I'm actually getting hearing aids at the end of this week, so a big announcement here. So can you repeat that for me? I'm sorry.
She was just asking you about what resources or commitments you guys might be making to support student filmmakers. She's from Expressions College, and she...
well, so, you know, we actually work really closely with the student films, and Christine, my film coordinator, has been going to Academy of Art and the Art Institute and giving talks so that the students know about how you go through getting a permit and what's expected, and about insurance and about parking and how to respect the neighbors and how to film in San Francisco. And we're actually beginning to draw up a new, very clear guideline as to what students will need to do to get permits so that we can make it more clear. But we work with a lot of students right now from your programs, and they're not charged a permit fee. Yeah, we do a lot of student permits, so I think that we're really supportive of student filming.
And it's important that each university has a liaison who helps to promote that process as well.
Right.
Because you guys can't be the beginning and the end of the permit process for every student production.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I took so many notes. I mean, a crazy amount of notes.
Here, you can have mine.
And I'm going to take all of Susanna's yellow cards. But just an amazing amount of information, and it sounds like her office is very open to phone calls. Karen Engel and I have Susanna's emails. I know she's got to get to another engagement, but and she certainly stayed over the allotted time I told her, so I guess I kind of swindled her into staying a little bit longer, but I mean, so much great information. And I just wanted to say a special thanks to Karen Engel and Diane Baker and the fine folks at Academy of Art for giving us a space, and to our camera person, Mr. Andre Champagne-Patrick, for filming this, so hopefully we'll be able to put it up here, and if there's any information that we shouldn't, we'll have a 7-second delay or something along those lines. But
did I say anything wrong?
I don't think so. No, it was great information, and thank you for all the engaging questions. And the last point I'll make is, you know, with Renaissance SF, there's so many resources. I think just in this room. Bruce Jeanette from DLA Piper, and I know Andy Niedermeyer's in here, who's worked on some projects up at Kerner, shooting in 3D, and Frank Cowan I see, and just so many folks, Sandy Rosenberg, that are here in the audience that are really good resources, and they can answer a lot of questions as well. But just thank you for all of the forthcoming open information.
Thank you.
And for coming to see us.